Hey everyone. All right, we'll go live here in just a handful of minutes. I'm recording right now. Need a drink. How's everybody? Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you guys. As usual, you guys are slowly going to become my therapists. I think I owe you guys a lot. My Facebook Live friends and everyone else out there that I chat to for hours and hours. You guys are good therapy. I've never been to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I've never been to a gynecologist. Oh man, I'm worn out. I think I slept 500 days ago, but can you guys see me on Facebook? God, I need my little stretch band. Yeah, whenever I feel like, I'm like in a lull. That's me today. I'm in a lull. Do you guys ever go through one of those? I think we all do, don't we? Yeah, today's like I've got the darndest thing that I get, I never really get stuck in ruts, when it comes to a lot of things from like maybe business or like relationships or, like a business. There's a lot of things to get in a rut. Wouldn't you agree? Are you happily married? Are you happily dating? Are you at a job that might be in a rut? I understand. But you don't want to be you don't want to be stuck in that rut, right? I don't think I do. But every 26th of the month, boy, I just can't wait to do a certain ritual. And I don't think it's bad, but it's hard to explain. I guess what I'm trying to explain is, like right around December 24th, my son, he passed away. And it doesn't shock me. It doesn't make me want to go jump off a bridge. I'm not like that at all. Because, a lot of my good buddies, they check in with me now and then. And whenever you lose, and like I said, you can lose a puppy, you can lose a doggy, a catty, even your favorite car might just get in a wreck. Or, gosh forbid, that any of your friends or family pass away. And we know it's going to happen. But what I think all of us do is we think about it for like this long. And then, bam, we've got to get out of that. I don't know if I can call it a rut, but we can't dwell on it more than probably 5 seconds. That's probably what I used to do, until December 26th, because that's when my son was found, he's gone. I like to say passed away, but he did die. According to a piece of paper, his death certificate, because your date of death, and I didn't realize this, but it makes sense. And this is totally fine what I'm about to say. If you die and you're found right away, your death certificate might be, really accurate to when you passed away. For example, if you're in the hospital and you pass away with your loved ones, the medical examiner, the doctors, it's really confirmed probably to almost the minute when you pass away. If you're in a hospital, gosh forbid that you're like in a car wreck, but there's a lot of witnesses and there's probably even a cell phone camera. There's a lot of documentation of when you probably passed away. In my son's case, I'm pretty public about it. It is his personal life. I know it's my personal life, but I don't mind talking about his death to a certain extent. Not the end all be all, but, he did pass away, but we didn't find him until December 26th. To the best of my noggin, my forensic filing ass, and just talking to a handful of people, going over cell phone records, going through this and that, He probably passed away December 24th, right around Christmas Eve, because we couldn't find or talk to my son, obviously on Christmas Day. And then on the 26th, we found my son, and he was passed away, right around like probably 8, 9 in the morning, within an hour of that. So his death certificate says he passed away on the 26th. Theoretically, the 24th, I start feeling a little weird. And then by the 26th, for some reason, I just keep doing the same ritual, or I don't know if my thought process is in a rut. I mean, we all do crazy things. But yeah, I start feeling weird. And like I said, I don't feel like I'm going to go jump off a bridge. That's not, I don't know. I just don't feel that way. I value life. Believe me, I really do. I think it's a blast. I know life is crazy. It doesn't make sense. If you study creation, evolution, space, wow. Isn't it awesome though? I think it's badass, but it is scary, because what if there is no afterlife? But if there is, do we want to see some people that we didn't even like down here? Do I want to be like, if I pass away, am I going to be, I don't know, that awkward, weird guy that was 10? Or do I want to be that guy that thought he was on top of the world at age 25 or even 35? I would take 45 right now. But, I'm in my 50s now, and I'm cool with that. I actually feel really good. I think for my age, I'm holding up. I know looks start deteriorating. I think we all know about that, don't we? We start doing filters on our face. We start putting creams on our face. We start trying to watch videos on how to, do this or that, or gosh forbid that we start eating right or exercising. But, we all make our beds. We all know what we do every day. I kind of enjoy these energy drinks. I know they're not that great for me. And cheers to you guys. This is so ice cold right now, I can barely hold it. And I love it, because I have another twin sister right next to it that's tangerine that I don't think I've had before. So, that's Twin Towers right there. And rest in peace to all those fine folks in New York, 18 years ago. But what happens is I kind of start feeling weird. And usually like the first of the month, your bills are due, or maybe the 15th of the month. Some people try to spread their bills so that they're not all due the 1st through the 5th. But wouldn't you agree that, you start feeling anxious like Sunday night, because you have to work Monday morning, or you're kind of bummed out because at the end of the month, you can't wait for a 31-day month because your bill is due like maybe one day later, but you have certain days. And I think we all do this. You just kind of feel weird for no reason. Or maybe you're driving down the freeway and you pass something that was an awesome event in your life, or maybe a horrific one. But we just automatically, our brains, aren't they crazy? They just kind of do what they want to do. Our brains are cool like that. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's a nightmare. It's like, God, I wish I could control my brain a little better. But the kind of crazy ritual I go through is around the 24th, I start feeling a little weird. I start being self-conscious. And what I mean by that is I start thinking, God, if I have a good time, my son can't. And then I totally, like, it's almost like you have like a little bitch slap machine. It's like, oh my God, you had a good time. What are you doing? You can't have a good time because your son can't. Boom. You do weird stuff like that. Sometimes I kind of like, take it with a grain of salt. Or I just kind of, it's not that you laugh about it, but you just have a chuckle because you know how crazy it is. And of course, you know that if someone in your life passed away, even a dog, your favorite dog would probably be on the passenger seat. And for a second, it would start speaking English or Spanish or whatever language. But you know that if your dog came back and he's on the passenger seat going, look, man, I passed away. But then all of a sudden your dog would go, look, you need to quit going into this rut or ritual, rough. Or, you know what, it's okay to move on. Just try not to do these rituals, or, I don't know, obsession, addiction. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm addicted to these drinks. I don't know. I just enjoy them. I like the taste. I know I can stop rather easily on drinking an energy drink. I don't know if I can stop kind of going through these rituals every 30 days. Like a month or so ago, I was listening to Kim Goldman. Her brother was murdered by O.J. Simpson, as you know, back in what, no, was it 94, if I remember right. And, she was just talking to a therapist about death, and, and the therapist was cool. I know I talked about this already, but if you guys are just kind of tuning into my pretty worn out face today, I'm definitely tired right now. Or not tired, I'm just mentally like, God, my brain just hurts today. I feel good, but my brain's like, man, give it a break. Jesus. But this therapist, he was just down to earth. And when like 3 or 4 minutes, he just kind of was talking about Kim, like, should we move on? Now, in Kim's case, her brother was killed by O.J. Simpson. So her frequency of emotion and depression and retribution, because boy, I believe in that. I'm the worst guy. If I'm your governor and I think you killed somebody and you're on death row, I'm pushing the button myself. With my, my dream is like to have a sandwich. And if I know someone killed somebody, I'm going to hit the button with my elbow because I don't want to stop eating my delicious cheeseburger while I watch your ass fry. So I'm very capital punishment within reason. But then again, I'm very aware that there is a lot of wrongfully convicted people that are sentenced to that. But I think you guys know what I mean. I'm comfortable with death. I know what it is. The way that my son died, there is some weird circumstances around it, and that's a whole other issue that I can't talk about from almost a legal perspective. But I know he's gone, and I know no matter what, I'm probably going to have a ritual that even Kim goes through, probably on the death day of her brother Ron, and of course Nicole, O.J. Simpson's ex-wife. And I know that on the 24th of each month, I start feeling a little crazy. The 25th, I'm okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? But then by the 26th, I don't know what it is. It's the damnedest thing. And if you guys have certain little quagmires, there's some fancy words for shit. But if it's a ritual or an obsession, I guess I have one of those. And I don't know if I really want to get over it because Kim Goldman's therapist, and I wish I had his name again because I didn't know I was going to start talking about him. And I might post when I'm done with this. I'll upload this to Facebook, of course. And I'd like to put just a thank you to him. And I don't know if I'll ever meet him. I hope so. I'd like to give him 5. But he said, sometimes you just don't get over stuff. You shouldn't. There's no one that puts a gun to your head or grabs your ear and goes, look, man, you got to move on. You've got to forgive and forget, or you got to get out of that ritual. Now, if stuff's affecting your life where you're kind of laying on the couch and you're just in the dark and you're just in such a bad place and it feels good, because most people that get to that place, they don't want to be there, but it just feels good. There's comfort in it. I'm kind of a loner type to a degree. Most of my good friends know. I love being alone because then I can rock out to music. I can build Legos, which I've become a massive master at. It's therapy for me. I love just to build a Lego set. I've got this computer in front of me. I have Pure Rock Radio, my radio station. I own and operate off the right of me on a big screen. And then on the right of me is another screen that for some reason, a red box movie might pop up. I do business online. And my gosh forbid that darn Netflix or one of those badass apps that streams something pretty darn exciting is in my face. And man, I just love it. For some reason, I can sit here all day and just build just a badass Lego kit. And it's just unbelievable. It's like, I guess I've never had a massage. I really haven't. I don't even think any girls I've ever dated the last 500 years, maybe they went like this. I do remember this. I'll be honest. Here's my best massage. And this is funny. This is so random and so funny. I used to own Club Access. And I shut her down years ago, but there was a variety of nights. And here's the only massage that I can probably remember. And it's not really a massage. It's not one of those Asian massages that you hear about, but I owned a club called Club Access. And I had a variety of nights. Wednesday was hip hop, just crazy music. Thursday was like meat market night, like top 40. Friday was gay and lesbian night. That's right. Alternative night. That's probably politically correct. Or now it's called lifestyle night. Saturday, I did like big DJs, or I produced the MMA fights with Mike Stedham. Hello, Mike. the Ultimate Combat Fights, which is full fight MMA. You guys know MMA fighting. But let's go back to when I have the only memorable massage that I can remember. It was on my gay and lesbian night. And I was in my office just getting money ready or getting the tills ready or just stressing out going, oh, man, I hope Godzilla don't come or a snowstorm or whatever. But when you own nightclubs, you never know. On your biggest night, you have Kid Rock playing or, there's so many things that's competition. But I just remember sitting there at my office, and I'm just kind of tired because when you own a nightclub, and I owned 2 at the same time back then. So, man, you talk about double stress. I remember sitting in my office, and I'm getting things ready. And I think he wouldn't mind saying his name, but his name is John Griffin. And he's just the awesomest guy. He worked for me. He designed all my flyers, but he was also a badass, I guess you'd call it a drag queen. And he's a big guy. He could have played like NFL football. But John, if you see this, I don't think you'd mind me just talking about you because he's awesome. He's fabulous. He's the drag queen. He talks like this. He's fabulous. And I love that. It was awesome. And his drag performer name was Nova, Nova. And I don't think he'd mind us saying this, but me and my best buddy and whatever, I never really did, but we'd love to sometimes call him No Vagina. But his name was Nova. But since he was a beautiful, flamboyant, awesome drag queen, like with the beautiful makeup and the giant, I don't know what it's called, where girls wear headdresses, but think of Cher. Remember Cher was like always just big costumes and crazy. I've never really seen a lot of those shows, but I think Cher is one of the most famous icons. And drag queens I know love her and Dolly Parton. And I'm trying to think who else. But anyway, I just remember they're sitting there. This is like 20-something years ago. Yeah, I shut Access down, I think, in 03? I can't, something like that. But I'm sitting there at my desk. I'm just kind of like stressed out. I'm just tired. I'm not really stressed out, but I just remember these big man hands go on my shoulders and just, and all of a sudden I just went, whoa. I mean, it was like, and he's like, oh, boss, or something, or I can't remember what he called me. I think he called me boss. Oh, boss. And he just grabbed my shoulders and went, and I was like, holy Jesus. I mean, it was like, wow. I felt like I was like 30 years younger going, damn. But big giant, I mean, is that the deep tissue ones? Because I know that there's the massages you can get for, that are 14 minutes, that are probably late at night at 3 a.m. And I don't know about this massage. I just know that hurry up, finish, and then get out. But this one was like probably what a deep tissue real massage would be if you're like a sports, like a Tom Brady after his NFL game. But isn't that funny? That's the massage. That's the history of just these big giant bird shit. All of a sudden I just got, like I said, I was like, man, all right. I think I should have probably like gotten $50. But John, I haven't talked to him forever, man. And he's the coolest guy. And I hope you're still in Salt Lake City, but John Griffin is his real name. But Nova is his performer name. So John, thank you, brother. Because you know what? The most memorable massage I have is from your giant, massive hands. So yeah, there you go, man. Is that like Iron Man? Boom. All right. So anyway, getting back to, why I'm even doing this video, because God, the only time that I really feel good, like maybe I'm making progress or I just feel kind of cool, is when I go live on just Facebook and I do a lot of online business. I've been doing this a long time. Behind the scenes, my Facebook friends never see this side where I kind of do business and I teach things and I do this and that. But when my son passed away, a lot of rumors, a lot of this, a lot of that. I know when someone dies, it's really awkward to ask how or what happened. Was it suicide? Was it murder? Was it just old age? I mean, everybody wants to know how someone passes away. So I started getting a lot of messages. Well over 2,500 messages I got in my inbox, which was really hard to kind of answer back, but I did. I loved every one of it. Every single person that wrote me, just even like hang in there. Man, I was just so happy that I had people care enough about to get a hold of me. And now it's got to be probably well over 4,000 messages I've had over the last 9 months, just regarding my son. I do get other inbox messages of just all this other crazy stuff I do on Facebook and whatnot, but and it's awesome. It makes me feel good. It really does. and I'll answer every dang one of them. And I like to do it on my home computer because it's easier to type, but half the time I'm just, I can text like a teen girl, which is kind of funny. But, over 9 months, you get clarity, you kind of get bummed out, and then you have a good time, and then you might feel guilty about it. And then it's woulda, coulda, how could I have changed my son's life? Or how could I made my dog, better nutrition? Or should I said this and that because my family members or friends died? Or could I see, if someone commits suicide, could I have done something to prevent those feelings that, resulted in that suicide? Man, I've had 500 questions. I'm such a talker. I think I've talked to myself. It's insane. I should probably be locked up, because if I did have like a secret recording of of all the conversations I've had with myself, it's like, God, you really are like that movie Sybil with Sally Field, where she's 4 or 5 different personalities. Did you see that show like in the 70s? It's actually really good. So I do the same thing. Sometimes talking out loud it's just more effective than just thoughts, because a lot of thoughts you just get kind of depressed, because then you really go deep. But yeah, like I said, I'm not depressed like that. I've never had a suicidal thought in my mind, although I probably should, but I don't know. I think it's natural to kind of be depressed and feel bad or feel suicidal. I get it. That's why, I'm bringing it up, because it's not very common that someone goes live on Facebook and kind of talks like this, but I like it because you guys are like my therapists. And a therapist, if they're good, they can tell when someone's full of shit. And they're probably kind of like either full on full of shit, or boy, they're heading to being, whatever you're feeling or doing right now, you're full of shit. And that's what I became yesterday, kind of last night, really. I could tell I was starting to be full of shit with myself. And, like fake to make it, or you kind of make your posts out to be better than they are. We all do that. And I didn't post yesterday like trying to fake anything. What I mean by that is you start feeling kind of down, or you feel awkward. But I started posting about some things, and then I looked down at my computer, and I could tell that it was, gosh almighty, the 26th. I hit that day that I know I'm going to feel weird and probably guilty, because this 12 pounds of powder, oh my God, it is heavy because the container. But you see this American flag wrap badass Kid Rock approved container? My son is in here right now. He's listening to me going, Dad, can you get me a cell phone at least? There's not a lot of shit going on inside this badass Kid Rock approved container. And I'm like, son, this is kind of heavy. I'm not in the best shape that I used to be, but this is where my son is now. And he goes a lot of places with me. He doesn't talk much, but sadly, in death, he's with me a lot more. Because when, kids grow, when they're younger, they're always with you. You got to train them to do stuff like get the paper, or can you make me cookies? I don't know. You guys know how it is raising kids, or even pets. They're with you a lot. Pets seem to be with you a lot more through life. But when kids get older, they do their own thing. They go this, they go there, they go to pool parties, they go to kegger parties. My son loved to light giant fires, probably when he was 16, drinking beer. Then he'd chase pretty girls, and then he'd do everything that his dad probably did, except 18 to 20 years younger. And I get it. But when kids get older, you just don't see them as much. But in death, my son is with me literally almost every single day. It's very rare he's not with me. I might go to a movie, or I might go buy some energy drinks, but, by the end of the day, I start my day and I end my day with my son. And I wish it was more like that when he was alive. And I'm a realist. I know that that's almost impossible, but then the guilt, comes in like, God, I wish I was a better dad, or did I say the right things? Or why did he do choices that got him in a lot of trouble? Because if everyone watching my video right now, everyone's like, well, yeah, your son was a hellion. He was a charmer. He had some pretty girlfriends, but boy, he sure was a good pain in the ass sometimes, or crazy. Or I think your son, I had to borrow him $20 for something. And, my son, boy, he loves cell phones. He loved big, giant turbo diesel trucks. He loved country music. He loved Kid Rock. and he lived in America. So that's why I got my son in one badass container that looks pretty nice. So I'm real happy where he's at right now. I'm not burying him yet. I might not at all. And what I mean, I'm not going to bury him in the ground. I got a badass wall at a badass mortuary, cemetery, whatever they're called nowadays. I don't want him there yet. I don't even want half of him there yet. I don't even want 1 teaspoon of his powder or dust or cremains, whatever they call it in 2019. But I just like to have him here with me. I know my family's kind of like wondering what's up. I know friends are kind of going, Corey's kind of weird maybe. Is he? Or is it common to kind of just have the remains with you all the time? And I know it's not, because a lot of people have urns that are on fireplaces. I do have friends that have animals. But I haven't had that big giant funeral where everybody gets together and kind of talks about stories, and then you randomly talk about kids as kids and how's John doing, how's Barbara doing. There's a lot of good that comes when you have like a funeral or a viewing, and I get it. I definitely think they're good for people, and it's bad too, because sometimes people show up that you wish didn't. But I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't want to, not how I want to do it. And I thought I'd do it over the summertime. I originally thought I was going to bury my son in the ground next to my grandpa Roby and his wife when he passed away. And it's in a nice location. And I thought I'd just bury my son right with them. And then I looked behind me, and there was a badass building with marble, and it looked almost like a badass house that's on the beach, because all the lawn underneath it looked kind of like the ocean. Then it has this patio that'd be like a dream patio if you were fortunate enough to have a house on a mountain with a view, or a beach house in Malibu. And I'm thinking, well, this wall is kind of cool because you can print stuff on it within reason. You can't be Dirty Billy and put knock knock, who's there, hair who, hairy asshole. I mean, you can't do stuff like that, but you can have a sense of humor, and you can do crazy, maybe interesting things. My son like big badass, turbo diesel trucks, and I've loved radio. So I thought maybe a cool microphone, like those big chrome ones that you see, or maybe, I've had a lot of Hummers, H1 Hummers. That's my favorite 4x4. So I thought, maybe have a really fun phrase, and my son and I put ourselves up on the wall, make it even eye level, because of course, when I'm passed away with my son, gosh forbid that someone walks by the wall and doesn't notice me and my son in our little rectangle of marbleism. But man, I just have to have a fun, smart ass phrase with a Hummer microphone. And my son, he liked hunting, so he had a big giant, I think it was an elk or some type of deer thing. So that's what I want to do, and I'm real happy with that. And I just go visit there just for fun. Me and my buddy Kathy went the other day, and I showed her the wall and I showed her the placement. We went and hung out, walked around the grass a little bit. So it's kind of interesting, and it's not scary. I really don't fear death. I am bummed out about it. It kind of sucks. It might be boring. It might be permanent, where when we go to bed at night and we fall asleep, that might be what death is when you die in your sleep. Just peaceful. Obviously, car wrecks and other things are horrific, but the way I look at stuff is like, their death is like, man, it might just be like what we do every night. We go to sleep and that's it. And it doesn't freak me out. I'm not religious. I'm open-minded to it. If I can talk to my son again, I would probably prefer to be just this old guy and how he passed away, on Christmas Eve. That's probably how I would want my afterlife to be. I don't need to be 35, 45. Healthier, longer hair. Maybe I was more fun. I don't know. But if I did die, I think I'd just like to be kind of how I am right now and how my son last was. Because then in my mind, I can go like, well, let's just continue part 2. Or in my case, chapter 53. And my son died just barely before his 33rd birthday. So that's kind of how I envision. If there is an afterlife, I'm totally excited. High five. Man, can I please cheers to that? Because that sounds awesome. And if there is a God and a Jesus and all the stories in the Bible, or just close, because I really think whatever happened in the Bible, there's probably certain things that did, or maybe all of it did. but it might just be stories, because I'm full of shit. I know that if I tell you guys a story last week about one of my radio shows or something, if I tell you about it again, I'll probably tell it in a different way. So when it comes to the Bible, there's probably a lot of stuff that really did happen in it. It's just there, but there's stories, and maybe there's a twist on things. Maybe there was three wise ass guys walking around. Maybe Mary was going around like this, and Jesus had long hair, and I heard he was a carpenter. He wore sandals. Man, I like to be barefooted. I don't even like to wear. I hate shoes because I wear size 14, and you know how many size 14s they make when you go to buy shoes? Usually none. And then when you order them online, they're like made in Bangladesh now. So a size 14 is like a 12. So you got to order a size 16 shoe. And guess what? They make them this wide, like I'm the star middle linebacker of the Eagles. I mean, so I can't win with shoes. So I just, hey, you know what? If I can just go barefooted, I'm cool with that. So my heaven or paradise, it's maybe on a beach, sandy as hell, just totally just creamy smooth sand in a tank top with an energy drink at age 53 almost, with my son who almost made it to 33. That'd be pretty cool. If I can get into that situation, you know, with financing and maybe free floor mats, that would be kind of cool. But like I said, if death is it, what is it, atheist or whatever, I'm really nothing, you know, because I've been asked before. It's like, do you believe in God, or do you believe in this or that, or do you think it's just all this, or do you think heaven and hell, if you live a better life, will you get to a higher penthouse suite, or if you've lived a life like myself? I think I've done some good things, but no doubt about it, I've been a dickhead. I've been in fights. I've said horrible things to either my kids or maybe girlfriends. I'm not really the married type. I was married for 6 hours one time to my son's mom, who I'm sure she'd probably string my neck going, you were a dick at 8. Well, I was 18 and she was 17. So I wanted a house, and I said this, I think last night, I wanted a big house with my friends, and we were going to like party like risky business. That was kind of that was my future in high school. Then when I became a dad, boy, I folded Pampers like a pro. You know, I didn't get to buy all the fancy mini trucks and Pioneer Super Tuner ones and Blaupunk and go to the swap meet and buy those Mustang amps that had 6,000 watts and all distortion. I didn't get to do that until later. I had to kind of like pay my bills and do my dad thing, which was the right thing to do. So until I got a little money and some coolness coming, you know, it took me a little while, but no regrets, man. No regrets. You got to do what you got to do. And of course, if you look back at your life, you can always have done a lot better. What's it called? An armchair quarterback? Woulda, coulda. You know, boy, how many times have people, or even on Facebook, you know, the way I post, I do some real nice things. I post some stuff, and then I'll come up with something opinionated, and then I'll always have 4 or 5 people, you know, ram it right back up my ass, you know, about something crazy with their take on things. And that's what makes life interesting. I mean, I love it, man. I love The Bachelor. I watch it. Right now, I'm playing a band that no one's even heard of. I'm playing a band called Sweet Leopard. They're bubblegum poison rock. They're going to get 0 sales in the next 50 years. But I'm cranking Sweet Leopard right now, hanging out with my buddy, my son, and it's a pretty good day. On a day that normally I just get kind of quiet. And like I said, I'm not depressed. I'm not suicidal. But I really start thinking deep, going, dang it to heck. I'm talking to so many nice people that might be watching me now on Facebook. And I'm listening to some bubblegum rock that I just love it. I wish I could turn it up and just play the song I'm listening to right now, because it's fun bubblegum. I know if I played it on an FM station, it wouldn't be a giant hit, but people would just be, you know, that is just a fun song. And it's a good day. I love little days like this. And thank goodness I feel a little better now at going on 7 o'clock, because, you know, late last night I went into oh man. So I rented a movie called Yesterday. It's at Redbox. It's about a guy that his band sucks. And when he wakes up in the morning after like an electrical storm, the Beatles, like no one knows who the Beatles are or their music. But what he does is he starts writing and performing Beatles songs. He becomes massively famous. Ed Sheeran loves him. The real Ed Sheeran. He's probably the #1 singer-songwriter right now. And it's a love story too. It's about, being with a pretty girl and not knowing how to like really say what's on your mind. And the movie ends happy. I'll spoiler alert. It's a good movie. It's happy. It's sad. It's realistic. It's about the music business. Who knew Ed Sheeran could act? And when the movie ended, I was like, you know what? This is awesome. What a great movie. And I felt really good as I looked down at my computer, this big screen in front of me. And you know what it said? It's the 26th. And I'm like, God, I just had a great 1.5 hours. I need to go in my funk again, because while I was partying out to that movie at Redbox for $1 called Yesterday, my very heavy son in his Kid Rock approved container, he's like, Dad, I didn't see it. Get me out of here. I wish I could have watched it with you. And then I feel like, you feel guilty. Isn't it weird? You do the damnedest things. And sure, I know that if he was alive, he'd go, you know what? I don't even want to watch it. I'm going to go text and go hit on girls or go play video games. That's probably what my son would have been doing if he was with me last night. Hey, come watch this. My son, he doesn't even know the Beatles. He could care less. He knows Keith Urban and Hank Williams and Kenny Chet. My son was a diehard country guy, but he did love, rock and roll and like Def Leppard. He loved all that too. But anyway, I feel kind of weird. And then I'm like, I try to go to sleep and I can't. And everyone's like, it's because of caffeine and energy drinks. And it really isn't. I can definitely sleep like a baby after drinking 10 cups of coffee or an energy drink. I sip on them. It's like my crutch. Like you guys might bite your nails or maybe smoke or drink or chew gum. I do love gum too, by the way. Lord knows this ultra crap sugar sticks called fruit stripe gum. I snag on these little bastards. So, so early this morning, one of my all-time favorites is Olivia NewtonJohn, and she's 71, and I know her life is near the end, and I think she knows it too. She's had breast cancer real bad. I know she can't perform anymore, and I'm not saying that she might die immediately, but I think in her mind when she goes to bed each night, she's probably like, is this going to be my last? Am I going to die in my sleep? Is my breast cancer going to win that war? And then I found out she's living in my hometown of Santa Barbara. And then I started dreaming, God, if I live down there, maybe I could, maybe she needs a guy like myself to just knock on the door. I think she's single. I mean, obviously she probably dates the coolest guy in the world, but not some long-haired guy with fried hair and a really badass. This is my favorite tank, by the way. Thank you, Jeremy, who owns jamminon.com. He makes all custom tie-dye. Free plug. Good friend of mine, Jeremy. But I thought, man, I'll just go knock on her door. Come and knock on my door. Olivia's waiting for you. Man, Olivia, how you doing? I just wanted to hang out with her on the couch. Maybe she's in pain, but she's cool just to hang on the couch, and I can sit there and just tell her I was in love with her in the 70s because of an album cover, and then I ran into her again in this little movie called Grease. Then all of a sudden I ran into her again because she's on my favorite show, Solid Gold, cranking that song Physical. And then I get to see her live front and center, and she sings literally to me almost 4 to 5 songs in Las Vegas a few years ago at the Hilton Hotel. So my life last night was like, and Jeff, hi Jeff, if you're watching this, and Val, I got to see my best friends on planet Earth at the hospital. Then I'm driving home like the Joker, because I was playing with an app where my face turns into the Joker. And then I'm doing a live video talking, and I don't know how to turn it off. So somehow I became the Joker last night for a couple minutes saying hi to you guys. And then I keep looking at my computer going, dang it, it's going to be the 26th at midnight. And then, of course, it turns the 26th. And then I start feeling weird. Then I watched this great movie called Yesterday. Then I probably had a snack that was bad for me to eat late at night. And so I went to bed last night, or this morning, actually. I got the damnedest sleeping hours. I actually hate sleep, and I know I need it, but I've always hated it. And it's not that I fear death. I feel like I'm losing out on doing stuff, and even that's stupid. That's a mental thing. I've had 30 years, easy. So today I'm not tired. I feel really good right now, but I'm just mentally, like, I'm so tired of me wondering if I'm in a rut or am I obsessed? Do I have an abscess? I don't know. There's a lot of crazy shit that goes in your mind. But because I think, do I need to better myself or change something about myself in order to live a happier life that's humble, that has my son with me, that, you know, every 24 hours, whatever happens, I'm comfortable with whatever happens emotionally or physically. So if I do have a batshit good of a good time, like, man, that was so fun, that I don't feel weird and guilty because my son can't. Or on the 26th, I know that that's the official date that my son is listed as his chapter's over, or his life is over, because the 24th on Christmas Eve is kind of when I'm pretty convinced that he did pass away late at night. But the 26th, you know, I'm cool with that. That's when he was found. And that's when the coroner, the medical examiner, and the police and everybody stamped a thing and said, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning on the 26th. So 9 o'clock this morning, I go through the darndest ritual. I wanted to stay up till 9 o'clock in the morning, even though I started to get tired. I probably could have went to bed earlier, but by 9 o'clock in the morning, you can see I was probably posting on Facebook. And I was struggling to kind of hang in there because you kind of know when you need to lay down. But I'm like, nah, you know, make myself a little coffee, maybe have some of this delicious fruit stripe gum that lasts 14 chews. But I made it to 9, and I just wanted to kind of think, okay, because I've done this now 9 months in a row. So now I'm at the point, like, wonder if I forget to do it next month in October. Oh my, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. Does the Pillsbury Doughboy monster in Ghostbusters come and squash me? Or, I mean, you do the dumbest stuff. And I don't think I'm nuts. But if you guys are watching me live, I don't even know. I don't have the chat room on. And hi on Facebook if you guys are there. But you do crazy stuff. No, you know, eyes wide open. You know that it might be harmful or crazy, or is it just in your head? But then getting back to Kim, whose brother Ron was killed by O.J. Simpson, her therapist said, you know what, just accept it. If you're doing rituals, if you're doing things like feel guilty, or if you just have to think about your son all the time, or your animal, or your mom, dad, I mean, there's, you know, he just said, you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. It just means deep down, you can be more of a macho type guy that doesn't cry. Like, I don't break down and cry and, you know, whatever, but it just means like a guy like yourself. And I felt like he was talking to me. It's just like, you know what, if you're going through these things, if you think they're rituals, obsession, if you think you're nutty Fruit Loop cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, it's like, it just means that you had care, you had love. And if you keep doing it for the rest of your life, then that means that you probably had genuine feelings and love for whatever you think you're going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over. I say some damnedest words. I need to just bring it back down to 3rd grade level so I can talk without fondling. Look what I've done to this fruit stripe gum. Like, I'm sitting here just rambling, squeezing gum instead of chewing it. So there's so much other advice that this therapist did as well. And he's on the last episode. I mean, some of my friends wrote me and said, oh, I heard that Kim Goldman podcast. She has like a 9-part podcast. I think it's called Surviving O.J. Simpson, or it's something like that, but it's free. You can just go online and type in Kim Goldman podcast. It's free. You just have to get the app like podcast.com or go to something.com. But I think it was the last episode. I think there's 9 episodes, and this therapist came on either the second to last episode or the last one. But if I remember right, it's the second to last episode, because the last one kind of wraps it in a bow. But that's when I was just listening. And he's like, sometimes, you know, if you're an eye for an eye guy, hey man, and I am, call me crazy. But if someone does something pretty crazy to me, I'm going to do it 2 times back. I'm going to hit you just as hard. Or I'm going to push that button, boom, that zaps your ass while I'm eating that delicious fake Impossible Whopper, which I forgot to buy again today. I think I'm going to do that tonight. I'm actually starving. I'm going to go get one of those Impossible Whoppers. So that therapist, he kind of put my thought process that, you know, don't try to get over stuff. You're overanalyzing. Why are you trying to get over this? It's almost like you're saying, gosh, I just want to hurry and get over the love and care and all the guilt and all that crazy stuff that you're going to have the rest of your life, just so you can benefit yourself, so that you can, I don't know, go watch YouTube videos, or maybe go do, I mean, you know, so I'm painfully aware that, yeah, I'm doing stupid ritualistic stuff, or I don't know, or am I in a rut? Am I in a rut? mentally over my son's death. I know there's no time limit on grief, and thanks everybody for writing me on that. I get just tremendous amounts of support. And what I want to do now, instead of you having to look at my weird face, and I did shave my beard, but it grows back. I just got tired of it and I messed it up shaving. So every other week, I just kind of shave it. And then I look young for a minute. And then my Santa beard will be back, my KFC beard. Because I did go, God, quit shaving. You look dumb without your beard. And I'm like, thanks. That's what I need to. Then reality sets in. I look like shit without a Kentucky Fried Chicken beard. And you know what? I love when people like just write me, period. I don't even care if someone badmouths me and calls me an asshole. At least they care enough to write you and hate on you or tease you or give you advice, you know. It's all good. This tastes the same. I love these darn things. These are like orange juice, by the way. The energy drinks that I prefer, I like the ones that are like punch. Like they make the red one of this. It's like Hawaiian punch, but with no sugar and no calories. Because the real Hawaiian punch, holy mackerel, there's a lot of sugar in that. All right. Well, anyway, this is what my son is kind of doing right now live as I'm on Facebook. But what I want to do is just show you some pictures of him. And then I want to just show you some nice comments that I get and some other things, you know, from the darn, you know, I mean, I've had people write me that have had horrific things happen. Their sons, their daughters, their kids, their parents. I mean, so much death. And it is scary to mention it. You always have to say it in a right way. Do you want to say, when did he die or when did he pass away? Because there is like a gentler way to like, you know, discuss death. Isn't it crazy? I feel nervous now. You know, my son's died. You know, he's died. He's dead. He's passed away. There's a lot of crazy descriptions. I need to go to definition.com and type in the word death, and I can probably come up with 14 to 17 other ones that mention, you know, certain things. So this is what I'm going to do. I have to share my screen. Hold on. It just takes me a second to click a button. I've done this so many times, I should have it down to a science. Okay. Oh, hold on. Well, let me, I'm on Facebook now. Can you guys like see my Facebook page? And I'm just closing out things. And hey, Patricia, and hey, Margaret and Mia. I got so many people that just write me nice things on my inbox and stuff. And can you guys see me at the top right of the screen? I mean, I hope so. But right now, my screen, I got it in freeze mode. Just give me a second. You know, the internet's kind of slow sometimes when I do these many boxes. I always have 7 screens open because I run my radio station 2 live on the same computer. Because I love sitting here. This is like my favorite place to hang and stuff. So anyway, but yeah, let me can you guys see my screen okay? Is it popping? Let me just pop up. Let me just go to the home page of my Facebook page. Oh, hey, I didn't even see this one yet. There's my good buddy. Look at how cute. What a sweetie. There's Angelie. Look at that. It looks like, hi, Angelie. I don't know if you're watching this live, but that's Al Cooper, man. But it looks like, look, it looks like he has like Peter Criss on his left knee. That Alice Cooper, but that is crazy, freaky, scary looking. I love it. Halloween's coming up. All right. Well, there I am live right now, it looks like. So anyway, hello, everybody. Hi, Amanda and Cheryl, and I see a handful of you girls and guys and everyone in there. I can't see you guys right now because I'm switching my screens over. But, you know, look at dogs. Aren't dogs awesome? I mean, how can you not love this gift? I think, don't they? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Because when you talk to a dog like a baby, they always tilt their heads like that. That's the best part of a dog. You go, oh, hi, Pookie. And then all of a sudden their heads will go tip-top, tick-tock. Don't these dogs almost look like Gene Simmons, a Kiss, or Ace Frehley? Are these Huskies? Aren't they awesome? All right. I kind of like this. I read a nice article today about Michael Sweet. He's obviously a very Christian man. No doubt Stryper is by far the biggest Christian rock band of all time. And Todd's the new lead singer of Queensryche. And if you guys want to go to Sleaze Rocks or just go to my Facebook page here, click this link and read the nice words that Michael wrote about Todd. Because Todd is an atheist, and Michael obviously is a very uh, popular Christian. But it's nice because Michael just said, hey, you know what? Even though Todd is an atheist and I believe in God, Todd lives his life like a Christian. He always is positive. He says good things. You know what? I might even be able to find the article right here. No, I'm in no rush. If you guys are watching me, I'm just kind of doing my therapy session with you guys. But it's just on Sleaze Rocks, and you can see the title. Michael Sweet thinks that atheist Todd is a great representation of God's love. You know, and it just, you know, right here you can see Todd is a great representation of God's love because he's just a great guy. Now, when I asked him to sing the song that I sent him to sing, he was totally cool with it. Because Michael, you know, he has a solo album out. You know, he and George Lynch have an album out, and Stryper is coming up with a heavy metal album next. So if you guys are fans of Stryper or Todd, you know, you can get, you know, a collaboration, I think. There's another badass word. But anyway, I like to read that because, like I said, we don't know if there's a God or not. Maybe you guys do because your faith system's there. But to me, I hope there is. And if there's not, I'm cool with that. So this was kind of a nice article to kind of get my mindset straight and narrow. But I'm glad because Michael I used to live by in Las Vegas. The whole band, most of Stryper lives in Vegas. The original bass guitarist, Perry, is the bass guitarist of Stryper. And I'm just a big fan. You know, Stryper has some fun songs. Even if you're not a Christian rock guy, just go back to those 80s albums and early 90s. And I think you'll agree, Stryper has some really cool tunes. But that was good, man. I might even write Michael and just say, hey, that's a great article. I appreciate that on this fine day. You know, like here, this brightens my day. Like, watch these kids. They're little Chinese kids, and watch what they do. They put their coats on and walk away as little midgies. Watch this. Like, they bend over. Well, that sounds kind of bad. So they look like little short kids. I love these GIFs. When I see GIFs, I just love it. Okay, I wanted to talk about this movie because I think you guys are going to kick out of it. If you guys like James Bond, but with beauty, wow, this show is really cool. You know, because after I watched yesterday, then I got in a funk today, then I had to do some work. Then I was kind of strung out, either tired or mentally tired. But I saw this movie, and it's called Anna. And I don't know who this actress is. She's probably a model, too, in real life because she's real beautiful. But she's like, I don't want to ruin the plot, but if you just like action and badass fight sequences, but then there's actually a plot where you get to know the characters, and that's Helen Mirren right there, who's just one of the baddest ass women on this planet. She's one of my all-time favorite actresses. But this movie is just awesome. And it's only $1 at Redbox, but I recommend this a lot if you just like action and hot chicks kicking ass, but it actually has a story where it's just not all fight, where you're so bored you start texting during the movie. So that was fun. These ones I found red Camaro shoes. I'm a big red Camaro fan, and they make all the way up to size 16s. Isn't that kind of cool? I'll put the link on that because I have a lot of people inboxing me, asking me where to buy these. I'll just put the link right here when I'm done here. I just put Bitch and Camaro because if I remember right, the Dead Milkman, they have a horrible song called Bitch and Camaro. So whenever I think of Camaros, my dream is always to have bitchin' on the license plate. So thank you, Dead Milkman, for probably a horrible song that I'll never really dig, but it's an awesome lyrics. All right. Well, anyway, that is not me. The lovely Johnny Lightfoot commented, he's one of my best pals on planet Earth. No, Johnny, that's not me tucking myself into bed because, Johnny commented that my legs look adorable. So look at that. You have great legs. Thank you, Johnny. If I did look like that, I'd probably be excited right now because, look, I am in a tank top and she's like in, a T-shirt. So I love it. I got a good friend, Isabella. She calls this Porky Piggin because remember Porky Pig, he always wears shorts, but he never has pants on. So girls, if you ever kind of just walk around the house with a shirt on and no pants or undies, that's called Porky Piggin. And us guys, we're cool with that. So you want to go do some Porky Piggin around me, my gosh almighty, let's go get a pizza and we'll go Porky Piggin around the house. All right. Here's some nice pictures of my son. This is at my friend Craig's house in Las Vegas. He has a beautiful home. It's 51,000 square feet, so I won't even tell you how nice this home is. But yeah, my son and I, we just go down to Vegas and hang at his house. And then my son and I, we actually moved to Las Vegas from about 2004 to 2013. But that's fun, man. Here's me. I'm kind of a new dad. You can see I'm kind of rocking kind of a little longer version of Rick Springfield or David Cassidy, but I'm a new dad. I have my Oakley sunglasses on. here's my son. He's got like a little beer belly from drinking all those delicious blueberry buckle concoctions that Gerber used to make. But, and you can tell by the 80s, didn't we all have these stripes? Like we had socks with stripes, we had shirts with stripes, we had sweats with stripes. So it's fun to look at pictures. You can tell how dated they are. There's my son there. This is a later version. You know, he liked to chop his hair shorter in the summer, and then he'd grow it a little longer in the winter. He was a big fan of puka shells. I do have his earphone buds here. I have right in the next room in my studio here, I do have his puka shells, and I even have his earrings and stuff. And I even have these glasses in a special box that I have. So I collected everything. I kept everything. This is Larkin Mortuary or Cemetery. This was nice. A couple months ago, you know, this is my grandpa and his wife that he died married to. And then this is his original wife, who's my mom's mom. That makes sense. And we didn't know what to do with my son. We were going to bury him maybe in the middle, because when you have an urn, you can bury the urn, you know, as long as it goes 3 feet down and the water table, you know, there's no water or crazy stuff, but you can, you know, if you don't want to buy another big giant, you know, casket sized plot, you can go ahead and bury an urn with your loved ones right in between there, you know. So, you know, and it's up to you guys. It's up to budget or just, you know, respect for the dead if you need to have your own space. But like I said, right in back of this picture, I'm going to show you where my son and I are going to be, you know, one day together. I'm not looking forward to hurrying there, but if I go there tomorrow, that's okay. I've had a pretty fun, badass life. Here's my son just in Las Vegas. This is a couple years ago. And as you can tell, he was a pretty good looking kid. I was very jealous of his youth, because he'd bring a girl home and I'd be going, oh my gosh, she's a 10. How on earth did you get her? Did you bribe her? Yeah. What did you put in her drink? You know, so yeah, my son was Mr. Charmer. I was jealous of him a lot of times on the girls that he used to date. So, and then he was a country guy. You know, like I said, this is a picture that if I remember right, you know, Mom, if you're watching this, but this was just in Utah, and I think my whole family got together and they just did like random country shots in the fields. You know, when your whole family just go, hey, let's just get together and take some country shots in a field. That was that day. You know, I was probably at my truck. I don't know where I was at that day, but I would have looked different. I would have had a tank top on, looking like I'm the roadie for Kid Rock. Here's my son and I, you know, grinning crazy with our big chubby cheeks. I didn't realize, look, even my son's cheesy grin are similar, you know, but it's just funny. But this was a nice Harley Davidson ride. This is just a year or so ago, a couple of years ago. And yeah, my son showed up, and I forgot who this girl was. She was just a good friend. I don't think it was his girlfriend, but she was just a fun girl. He just brought her to hang out. And we were just at Salt Lake Harley, you know, on about 30th South and State. And that was fun. And, you know, good times, as they say. And let me just scroll down here. I got to move my face here. I got to shut out there. So there's some nice pictures, and I got so many more. You know, but thanks to everybody. But look at how many nice friends I got. Cher Bryant and Robin, and, you know, God, I got 200 and some odd people. But look at that. But thanks. I'll just read your names, like Francie and Terry and Mike Draper. No relation. There's no more Drapers after me and my dad and my brother. The Draper line is pretty done, you know, in Troy. So yeah, our Draper line is just from Iowa. So Mike, if you see a rebroadcast of my video here, Mike Draper, thanks for checking in, and all the other nice people here. But all those couple hundred folks, man, that's so cool. I appreciate every one of you guys. And there's Olivia. You know, this is her in her 70s. She turned 71 today. So happy birthday to Olivia. I'm such a fan. I'm like a groupie. I'm not even a fan. I'm like a total little bitch that would do anything she'd tell me to do. But happy birthday. I love her to death. Oh yeah, if you get those little snack bite, you got, if you're Kiss fans like Johnny Lightfoot and I, you got to get these Snicker little bite-sized things. They mass produce them for Halloween. But do what I do. Put them in the freezer and just, you know, keep the Snickers. But, you know, make Kiss. And you know what the value is of this? Nothing. You just kind of think you're cool for a second. Then you just snack on these. But only eat Snickers when they're ice cold or frozen. God, I love them, man. All right. Well, anyway. And thanks, everybody. I could stroll down here forever. But, you know, here's some couple pictures I just did. I'll just do a little tribute real quick. There's Olivia when she was just starting out in Australia. And there she is, just the biggest superstar in the world, singing Physical and she had exercise tapes, and she cut her hair short like Pat Benatar and Jane Fonda. And then every girl back then had a badass. Do you remember the legend of Billie Jean? Remember Helen Slater? She did the same thing. So, but yeah, there she is. I think this is when she had like, If You Love Me, Let Me Go, or remember that song? It's a country song in 1973. This is where she was just getting some traction. And here she is just a year or two ago. I don't know what this is, just an art gallery. Maybe she owns it or whatever, but I'm excited. She lives in my hometown of Santa Barbara, and she is fighting breast cancer for quite a few years now. So we definitely all want the best for Olivia. And I just, there is no better picture than this that represents her and me becoming a man in 1977. But when she turned into Sandy and she put the lipstick on, and then she put those pants on with thigh gap, and she walks out and she goes, is it the phrase? Is it tell me about it? Like oh, here it is. Sandra D. Borgios. Is that a French name? But yeah, look at Sandy. Yep, there's two girls there. I don't know if you're on the right or the left there, Sandy. But look, she goes, tell me about it, stud. I wanted to be a John Travolta, man. I was like I was in third grade when this movie came out. And I'm like, tell me about it, stud. What do you want me to tell you about? Like my homework? But I have the doll of this that Barbie put out. She's got the same coat, hair, the red high heel pumps. I have Grease Lightning. I bought the script of Grease. I have the Pop Funk dolls of Danny Zuko, who is he's the jock version. Remember when he puts on the cheesy jock sweater at the end? And then Sandy, she's singing Hopelessly Devoted in that yellow, really Mormon religious goody dress. I have those dolls. And yes, I'm a big fan. I actually have memorabilia around my studio off to the right. I can't move the camera because this is a stationary webcam. But anyway, happy birthday. I just dig everything about Olivia Newton-John. She's so badass. Just love her to death. Hi, Linda. I can see you checking in. So, oh yeah, there's me. Yep, I did shave my beard off, but you know what? It'll come back. Yep, so. And then the best coffee in Utah is Maverick. All right, so anyway, I just wanted to show you maybe a little bit more of my son here. I know you guys saw that picture. But I just, the more I talked about him, especially on the 26th, I want to more or less maybe look forward to the 26th. I think at the end of the day, sometimes, when you fear something, you're like, well, how can I make it a positive? Like, why do I fear it? Why do I have to regret it? Why does my stomach have to feel weird? Why do I have to feel, the guilt, or what could I have done to be a better dad? And I mean, you're going to do that anyway. But I just thought, if I got to do, the rest of my life, and I don't know how long that'll be, but, hopefully it's, I don't know, another 500 years would be kind of cool. But I just figure, how can I make the 26th a day where I don't feel so bad about it? My stomach doesn't get all knotted up. And then I kind of go into a funk. And I don't know if it's a bad funk. I don't feel that bad right now, but I feel good right now when I can just talk about them a little bit in a public setting. And look at my head right now. My computer was freaking out. That was cool. I was like Max Headroom or whatever back in the 80s. But anyway, there's just my son and and I feel bad I don't remember her name, but she was a really good friend, and she was so pretty. And if I remember right, she's now a mom. She just had a baby. So congrats to her. But as you can tell, man, my son, he was good. This is Cafe Rio. This was his favorite place by far. And this is one of his best pals, who's just awesome. I mean, look at how pretty she is. Just to show, my son got some pretty cool girls. This is the lead singer of XYZ, obviously of Great White too. And his name is Terry Eloise. And my son was a big fan of rock and roll, the hair band stuff. And he knew most of the bands because he was with me all the time. So my son grew up a lot just knowing rock stars, and he didn't give two shits. He had cowboy boots on and shorts. I hope I showed that. Oh, there's me. I used to buy Ferraris. I used to buy all the exotics. And there's my son telling me I'm number one. This was going through his nerd phase. I bought him some nice braces, and he had the glasses. And this is kind of when he's like, kind of the nerd phase. We were all nerds, weren't we? I mean, we all hated certain time frames. There's my son doing his famous smile. There he is on the beach. This is California, of course. This is the beginning of his tattoo on his right arm. is that an elk or is that a dinosaur with elk? I mean, yeah, but it's a cow face, right? He did finish it. And I feel bad. I can't remember this girl's name. I know they were buddies. And good to see you. If you see my video here, call me a butthole for not remembering your name, but looks like you and my son were good buds, man. Oh, here's Tracy and her friend. Tracy's awesome. She's so cool. This is Tracy Cunningham. She made me a beautiful custom candle with my son's birth date. And then she got me a Lego kit, which, man, I owe her like a $500 dinner because if someone buys me Legos, I freak the F out. But yeah, Tracy, if you're watching this, I don't know, but here's pretty Tracy and her best pal, and they're big fans of Vegas and the band Air Supply. And my son, you know, he just loved the ladies, and there he is trying to grab Tracy's right boob. But you see his hand. Remember Stranded at the Drive-In, branded a fool like Danny Zuko, trying to grab Olivia NewtonJohn's boobie. Here's my son doing the same thing. So Tracy, I'm sorry about this picture. I just realized my son's going for some boobs, but I don't blame him. She's got a pretty nice butt. I remember Tracy was having a contest on my radio show, Pure Rock Radio in Vegas with JB Valley. And I remember did you write a heart or did you write Corey and Jamie Rock? But she sent me a picture of her bare bum for my radio show. So man, Tracy, I owe you not only for the coolest Lego set of the space shuttle and a truck, and then she bought me a Hot Wheel thing, and then she bought me just this beautiful candle, which I might go get before I end the video. There's my son. This is my parents' backyard. They got a giant backyard, you know, an acre or two. And my family's more country. They love horses and roping and barrel racing. Here's my son, you know, just riding a horse. This is years ago, of course, when he was probably, I don't know, a teenager. That's kind of fun to see. There's my sister, my older sister, Shari. Her son, Colt, was my son's best buddy forever. And as you can tell, they both went to Sears to buy just the most god-awful clothes. Don't we dress our babies just ridiculous? So when they grow up, they go, Mom, why did you make me dress in these pinstriped weird shirts? You know, and Colt now is like, I think he's like 30. I don't know, Colt, if you're watching this. He's probably, what, 32? He's giant now. He's a big guy. He's big as a house. He's like 250 pounds, not an ounce of fat. He's a big boy now. All right, there's my son. We saw that earlier. There's my best pal, Val. I'm with her every week. We're hanging out. We at the hospital all night with my friend Jeff. And my son, he would always spend money on Val, but not me. He would literally have money and go, hey, Val, do you want to go to dinner? And then he would pay. I was talking to Val about this the other day, and I'm like, well, you never did that with me. Even if my son won Powerball, like 100 million, if we went to Cafe Rio, he'd go, oh, I forgot my wallet. So like, all right, you butthole. So yeah, my son would buy dinner for Val, but not me. So yeah, way to go, Val. I love my head. My head's freaking out on the live video. You'll see it shaking because the computer's glitching. Here's my son. I have 500 pictures of my son flipping off, and here's another one. And there's another pretty girl he was hanging out with, and I forgot her name, gosh darn it. But anyway, good to see you. Yeah, someone made me this. This is just my son in one of my offices in Vegas, and rest in peace. I sure hope so. We all want to rest in peace. And here's Joshua right there, that big son bitch, man. Look at the size of him, man. He could probably pick a car up. This is just some of his best pals that he hung with, and they're obviously saying that they're number one again. And this is a famous Utah magazine called Party Utah. So if you go to a nightclub or an event or a concert, they just go to all the fun events. And my son loved concerts and mostly country. You know, like I said, if Keith Urban was at the USANA Amphitheater, he would be there drinking a beer, hitting on girls with Joshua, and flipping off the camera, which is an excellent example here. There's my dad. Look at him, man. He's there building, I don't know what that is, but there's my son, happy because he's getting stuff. He loved to get. You know, like it's better to give than to get. My son's like, really? Well, I love to get. And you can tell by his face there's his shaved head look again. My son sometimes took scissors and razors and decided to be a barber. Do you guys have kids that did that? God forbid a pretty daughter that she decides to cut her bangs. There's my son at Val's house. I don't know what he's doing, but obviously he's drinking a Diet Pepper, or what? That's a Dr. Pepper. And let's see. There he is swimming. I don't know. Oh, there's Colt. I don't know where this is. This is probably a hotel or maybe one of my family's backyards. I don't recognize this. This is years ago. Yeah, they're having fun. My son did know how to swim. This is kind of what my son liked to dress like, just jeans, a belt. In the summer he dressed kind of like me, but this is a wedding. God, is this Colt's wedding or I can't remember, but this is a wedding right here. I think it's Colt's wedding, my sister's son. Let's see, I showed that one already. Yeah, and you can tell my son had handcuffs, so he was ready to go on dates. And then obviously, boy, he had like a giant O.J. Simpson knife. So, and then look at Colt. Man, no one messes with Colt. No one knew he's going to grow up to be 250 pounds of pure muscle. So, yeah, there's my son, and there's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance handcuffer. There's my son freaked out because he has to wear a shirt that looks like this again. This is from my mom, by the way. I always bought my son clothes that were like something I'd wear. But if you had really cheesy stripes, it's usually the grandma that says, let's go buy some more pinstripes. Those are adorable. And there's Colt just totally not happy. And this is my youngest sister, Carrie. She's just happy that they're not like in diapers pooping their pants on her lap. Oh, there's my son. It almost looks like he's saying the national anthem in front of giraffes. Because, boy, when it came to giraffes and singing the national anthem, my son was front and center, as you could see by his bowl haircut here. Colt is just happy drinking a beer. I think he started drinking Miller Genuine Draft like his dad. And here's a fun fact. The first beer I ever had was a Miller Genuine Draft in a 1970 Chevelle. I've had 3 of them. 396 4-speed was the first car I ever went in that was like, wow. And it's his dad, Randy. So Randy, he goes, hey, you want a sip of beer? So I took a sip of Miller Genuine Draft. This is his son here, obviously enjoying a cold one in front of giraffes while my son evidently is singing the national anthem with his hat off. That's a funny picture. I love it. Oh, there's my son. There's my Hummer. I've had 5 of these H1 Hummers. This is one of the last shots ever taken of my son. This is just a week or so before his death. This is my brother's daughter's daughter. So this is my grandpa. I don't know what it is. And this is Katie's daughter. And I'm so sorry. When it comes to nieces, cousins, third cousins of the uncle's wife, I can't remember. But this is my brother Ryan's daughter, Katie's daughter. So how does that sound? Okay. This is a nice view. This is where me and my son are going to be hanging out. This is Larkin Mortuary, just up in Sandy. This is the beautiful Rocky Mountains and back. I lived on this mountain off and on 24 years. I love Pepperwood and Dimpledale. There's me and my cheesy haircut you already saw. Here's my son. Obviously, this is one of his girlfriends. Her name was Bass Fisha, and she kind of smelled weird, but she was a nice girl. She didn't run away much. She didn't have legs, but my son, oh, wait, is that a bass or is that a catfish? I don't want to even know anything about this. I can't imagine what happened. Okay, here he is at the wedding. I think this is Colt's wedding because it looks like, and they have country weddings. My family, if they're going to be a wedding, they like shindigs. Yeah, which is kind of cool. I think it's funner like that. Yeah, there I am with more of a mid-size haircut. There's my son and I hanging out, and there's my son cutting pumpkin. This is Katie, who had that little baby I was just talking about. This is my brother Ryan's daughter. And there's my oldest sister's daughter, Danielle. And there's my son pissed off again. Why? Because there's probably my mom putting him in striped shirts. My son is so not into this type of shirt either. It's funny when I see this. And Danielle, look at her. She's like dressed like the Bay City Rollers plaid. None of them dress like this now. They all love country. But yeah, there's Katie. And I don't know this little boy here. I feel bad. If he's a relative of mine, I just don't recognize him. But they're probably at Hogle Zoo. See all these weird looking Fred Flintstone things. This is probably like the bear cave. And as you can see, my family was into safety. There's probably mountain lions or grizzly bears or a Kodiak bear like right here. And of course, they're just sitting right on the ledge where they could be a snack for the bear. Just family and, oh God, I got millions, just Halloween. And I've got millions of pictures. I just thought I'd kind of go through some pictures, and I just want to fast forward to some. And then this is it. This is what kind of bums me out. When you cremate, somebody, or maybe your animal, or, your doggy or whatever, this is what it looks like. I used to kind of fear this box, and I took this box with me a lot of places all over the summer. The summer I just took off in a badass show truck, semi truck, and My son and I went to every state and hung out in almost every neck of the woods in America. But on there, it just says, he was born when the space shuttle blew up 45 minutes after on January 28th in 86. And that's it. They put a sticker, December 26th, that's why today I feel kind of bummed out. But now, like I said, he's in his Kid Rock container, American flag. But God, I was trying to find, this is one of my last pictures of my son and I. We were at Texas Roadhouse. That was his favorite, steak and chicken. I mean, he could eat just like a maniac there. He loved Texas Roadhouse. Here he is, like way young, on a trampoline at my mom and dad's house. Yeah, I'm trying to find the cemetery. Well, I got him a Wave Runner, supercharged Sea-Doo. I mean, this is when I lived in Vegas. We had Wave Runners and Sea-Doo boats, and my son loved all that. Yep, he loved the water. Oh, here he is now. We're boating down at Lake Mead. We're below Hoover Dam here. This is a Sea-Doo boat that I bought too, so we could haul ass and get some girls maybe, and they'd scream and want to fall in love with us. My son and I thought we were so smooth with the ladies. He loved sand dunes too, man. He was a big 4x4, these four-wheelers or quads. And this kind of bums me out, I'll be honest, because he loved this cake. You see this KFC cake? It's a chocolate cake with a four-wheeler on it. My son absolutely loved these big dill pickles. He'd eat 500 of them a day if he could. And then there's Pringles. He loved Pringles while playing video games. He'd eat pickles all day, even after brushing his teeth. But I went down to KFC, and he died just a week or two before this picture was taken. And it's on the 28th, and it's kind of bums me out. Bloss, this one kind of is fun. You guys know the Blue Man Group and the band Slaughter. K-Bear, the station that I worked at forever, we were the first stations to embrace Mark Slaughter and Dana Strum and the guys. And Dana and Blas Elias, the drummer, was the drummer for the Blue Man Group forever in Vegas. So yeah, my son and I went down, hung out with Blas, and there's Blas right there having a good time. And he's just the greatest guy on a personal level. Now I know he's got a great family, and he's the drummer of TSO, which is a Trans-Siberian Orchestra. But yeah, Blas, if you ever see this video, I know my face and all that it's freaking out. It's funny. If you see my little picture here, here my son wrote me, "You're the world's greatest dad, even when I was in jail," or and you're a horrible dad for teaching me how to swear and being around boobs. I can't. That pretty much, that's kind of why I'm probably feeling guilty today. I definitely wasn't the best dad. I might have been a fun dad, but I sure the hell wasn't a good one. This is the picture I wanted to get to, just a couple angles. My grandparents are buried just below, but see how this is kind of like a railing, like if you have a balcony to a home, or like if the ocean is the grass. But this is just, is it called a mausoleum, or the mausoleum wall? But, I just love being on the outside of the wall with a fun phrase, and me and my son, we can be in the same. But look at how pretty it is, just designer, just, it almost looks like a designer yard to a house. And my grandparents are buried just below where I'm standing here taking the picture. But I want to be up, just looking down with trees and just a great view. And see, my grandparents are about right here where the little mouse is going. So yeah, I just want to be up on the wall. I love it, man. And there's my grandparents, and I know my mom, and I got a whole bunch of other friends and family that are buried here too. And here's the Harley Davidson one. This is where my son and I were with the beautiful girls of Exotic Kitty. So yeah, my son and I, we accidentally had boobs a lot. That's why he wrote me letters that said, "Happy birthday, Dad," even though I was around boobs and bums. But here's my son in the back. You can tell he's just tortured being with Dad. And here's all the beautiful girls. These girls work at Exotic Kitty, which is a place that has great food, by the way. So if you need delicious lunch or dinner, go on down to my buddy Tommy. This is Tommy's place, and that's his lovely gal. And these girls are all awesome. They're so nice, and they're beautiful. And I'll end it with this one. This one's kind of sad. This is his mom. This was my girlfriend all throughout high school. We got married for about 7 minutes. And my son here, and this was his half brother, because my ex here, she remarried and had a great family. This is kind of sad. Brock here ended up dying. I don't know if I want to say how, but he was killed actually, and it was in a really bad way. And it wasn't like crazy Scarface. It was just a really bad mishap on how he passed away. And my son loved him to death. It was one of his best friends. And Brock, my son, on his whole right arm, he tattooed his name, Brock Hansen. And I actually got a picture of it the other day. Someone sent me a picture. No, Joshua sent me a picture of my son, like holding up a phone. And I was able to see the tattoo, because usually when you take pictures of people, their arms are down. You can't see the back of their, like where their elbows are. So I got a really nice picture, thanks to Josh, showing my son's, just dedication and tribute to his brother, half brother Brock there. And I never really knew him that well, but I was told that he was just the coolest guy ever. There we are in Vegas, and God, I could go on and on. I've got a million. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, well, that's not really a close-up, but here's my son. He loved going to the mountains all the time and just drinking a beer, and he loved to hike, actually, and write poetry. And he also liked to, get a bunch of girls and light bonfires with his buddies. That's the ones I wanted to go to. But right there, it just said his brother's name, and that was cool because I never had any type of picture of his arms, because every picture of my son, he's like flipping me off, or we're like hanging out with hot girls in parking lots of Harley Davidson. So, all right, I could go on forever. God, I know I've been dragging. If you guys are watching my live video here, I definitely appreciate it. This was a lot of fun for me personally, just to say hi to you guys. I'm trying to flip over the camera. I just hope that my screen is even showing the camera, did you guys even see all the pictures I was just talking about? Because on my other feeds, but on my Facebook feed, I'm trying to share it. And what a day. I'm exhausted. I don't think I'm tired. I'm just exhausted. God, but cheers to everybody. It's like 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock. I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. I do a lot of training. I got an online business that I love to death. But yeah, the last hour or two, how much is a psychologist, or is it a gynecologist where you lay on the couch? Is that a gynecologist? Because I think, isn't that you lie down and then you tell someone your problems. Yeah, are you guys my gynecologist? Because I feel like I owe you 2 hours of whatever. If I have to pay y'all, God, I better go to the bank. They're okay. I like orange better, but these are the new. They're sugar-free, calorie-free, but they're tangerine mango. No, they're good now. Now that I took a drink, and these are really good. Well, cheers, man. I had a great time. I don't think I'm going to fear or be nervous or get anxiety or obsess or be in a rut. The 26th, this is the first time I've really kind of done this. I don't really, I think the last hour or two, I'm kind of sitting here talking. I think I feel a little better about everything now. Because I'm just thinking, okay, the 26th is going to come up in a month from today. But it doesn't seem like, well, why am I freaking out about that so bad? My son is with me, and that's all I want. Larkin Cemetery did me a favor. They have to do an autopsy and stuff. And I prefer cremation, but the cremation was great. And, after I got all the paperwork done and the fees paid and stuff, because the state, you can't just go get like a body and take off and go, oh, great. But you got to do the proper sequence. But Larkin knew I was kind of bummed out, and I just wanted my son with me ASAP. And they did just the greatest job. And the cremation was awesome. They did like a little ceremony. It's just awesome. I can't tell you enough how I'm a big fan of the Larkin Cemetery Company and the one up in Sandy. And they were able to give me my son rather quickly, like way fast. And I even got the autopsy report rather quickly through a phone call, because it takes a month, sometimes 3 months to get an autopsy. Unless there's like a murder or something crazy where the cops really need some great DNA evidence or just something, to solve a case or something. But in my case, Larkin, the medical examiners in Utah, I have so much good. I know death sucks, but I've had so much great things happen with great friends and meeting people all over the country. And just like this today, this does me a lot of good. So I thank you guys. Usually I do more upbeat, more fun, or maybe just crazy stuff, but it was awesome just to talk about my son and Olivia NewtonJohn and just talk about some great things. Because the 26th, it doesn't have to be so crazy, right? That's kind of how I think about it right now. So Anyway, hopefully, like I said, I just hope I'm even talking to a camera. It says I'm live, and I'm just sitting here talking to my webcam, which I hope is someone even watching me, because it makes me feel good if there is. If there are and is, isn't it a pain in the ass to get it right? All right, well, I'm going to go rock to a bubblegum band called Sweet Leopard. Yes, I do listen to bands like that. And afterwards, I'll go into like Cheap Trick, Andy Gibb. Then I'll go to the Bee Gees. And then I'll go into probably the Hoodoo Gurus, do a little alternative. That's what I love about days like today. I'm just going to slow down a little bit and get my shit together in my own mind. And I don't fear the number 26. Most people fear the number 13. The last 9 months, I've been kind of freaking out about the old 26. So anyway, happy birthday, Olivia. My son and I say have a great night or a great morning, wherever you're at on this ball of dirt called Earth. And I feel a little better. I haven't even eaten dinner, breakfast, or lunch. God, I've been so feeling nervous all day. I haven't even eaten for almost a full 24 hours, man. I need to start getting something in my belly. God, I want tacos. Let's have some tacos. I bought the crunchy ones, the Dorito ones that taste like nacho. Ooh, I might need me some tacos. I know they're fattening, but you know what? Today's my day. It's all about being my son, so screw it, man. Maybe have some calories. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot. I can't thank you enough just for, just listening and being my buddies, man. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace and love. Awesome.